Welcome to our second video tutorial about MAXDictio. In our first tutorial, we took a look at word combinations in Sherlock Holmes novels and found a clue that suggested that men might play a bigger part in Sherlock Holmes than women do. Let's take a step back and look at the overall word frequencies of words like man or woman. On the left side of this option menu, I select which parts of my material to analyze, and on the right side, I can split up the results by document, document group, or even coded segments. Below, I can once again decide if I want to lemmatize the results and count words that stem from the same base together as one group. Here are the most frequently used words in our material. The quickest way to find the word man is to click on an entry in the word column and just enter man on my keyboard. Man appears, and the frequency columns show a number of 1,968 appearances. Man is the 36th most used word overall. If I wanted to merge two words into one word category, I could just drag and drop one word onto another. Let's compare this with a search for woman. Woman occurs much less often, 309 times. Could it be possible that the author simply used other words when speaking of woman? For example, lady or daughter or wife? Let's find out. For this task, I'll use the MAXDictio dictionary features. I can create my own categories of words for further analysis. I create one category for gender female and one for gender male, and enter different words that could describe men and women into each category. Let's fast forward a bit. I've created a few more categories like people or science. For my current analysis, however, I don't want to take them into account. So what I do is double-click on the folder symbols to exclude them from the next dictionary-based analysis. Now let's check the frequencies of the dictionary words. To make this even more interesting, I've defined the publication date as a document variable and created two sets for the early and late Doyle. This information will be displayed in additional columns. On a first glance, it looks like both periods are rather similar, except for the word father, which appeared far more often in earlier stories. Generally speaking, we see that many words that implicate a male gender are much more frequent than their female counterparts. In contrast to this, the word wife appears much more often than the word husband. We can also compare the frequencies of the entire categories by clicking on this menu entry. Here is how many times any of the words from each dictionary category appear in each document. I can change the view to display row percentages and now clearly see that words of men I entered appear much more frequently than those of women. You can also visualize this table with the Category Matrix browser. This feature works in a very similar way to the Code Matrix browser, so I recommend watching the Code Matrix video tutorial if you want to learn more about this feature. We have already established that there is a difference in frequency in the mention of men and women. To look into this more closely in the form of qualitative analysis, we could store our results by coding them with the dictionary categories and retrieve the segments later for further coding. But let's take a look at another cool new feature called Keyword in Context, which also searches for words but adds valuable context information. As keywords, I'll use my dictionary categories. Here I can select how much context to display. After I click on OK, all the words in my category are displayed in a well-arranged table, including the text before and after the word itself. This makes going through the results and selecting which findings to code for later a breeze. Like always, the results can be exported to Excel or HTML by clicking here. And now to one of my favorite tools of all time, the interactive word tree. It's an interactive word map that displays word combinations in their context like a tree branching out. Let's analyze the novels. On the left of the word tree is the most frequently used word, the, which is currently set as the so-called root word. From this root word, we see the most frequent word combinations branch out. The word that follows most frequently on the is man, and the words that follow most frequently on the man are who and was. The right side column shows the context of any selected sentence. This number up here shows how many branches are currently displayed, while the number in brackets tells me that there are more than 11,000 branches in total. Clicking on man shows that the combination the man occurs 146 times. The combination the man who occurs 25 times. Hold down the Alt key and click on any word in the tree or in the right-hand column to set that word as the new root. Or enter a new root word in the search field here. The tree can be set to display all word combinations following a root word, leading up to the root word, or both. That's all for today. I hope you enjoyed this tour through the works of Sherlock Holmes and got some insight into the extensive functionality of MAXDictio. Happy analysing!